So you're seeing like the
downfall of La Liga, and I'm here for it.
You've got a reason number 6 years.
They're fucking looking to give Eric Dyer a new contract, who I think is probably up there with the worst centre-back in the Premier League. What the fuck's going on in the Everton game?
English teams couldn't keep hold of their players. Look at Arsenal losing Fabregas, losing Henry, Alex Song, Alexander Kleb.
We've lost Mandem to Barcelona. Yeah, shout out Kim Kardashian every time.
BoreDraw, episode 47.
I was about to say 48 there, but 47.
47. We are flying.
Nearing big episode 50.
Big episode 50 coming soon.
Don't forget to subscribe if you're excited for episode 50 because it's going to be mega.
Episode 50 is actually going to blow your mind, so get excited for it. But before we get to episode 50, we have to talk about the penultimate round of games in the Premier League.
The Barclays is coming to an end.
It's coming to an end for another year. Man City
has it already come to an end due to sheer dominance? That's a question we need to discuss.
Has it just ended forever?
Has I was going to say the appeal, but the Barclays has always got appeal. But has the spirit of desire and kind of the chase for silverware, is that dead?
I mean, unless you've been living under a rock here for the last week, Man City have once again won the Premier League.
Fair play to them.
With a game to spare, they managed to catch Arsenal, leapfrog Arsenal, and leave Arsenal in the dust.
Mate, it's not even like we were running towards the finish line. About 4 or 5 weeks from the end, we turned around and started running back to the start line. It was the last few weeks.
Looking at Newcastle now, thinking,
mate, that last month was rough.
Yeah, it's
But yeah, fair play to City, mate. They're the best team in the world. And obviously there's a discussion we had it last pod, and it'll probably be raging into the summer. Is this the best team to ever do it?
For me, no.
Ugh.
But the thing is, at the minute, no. If they win the treble, maybe. But they haven't reached the same points total as they have before.
No.
But then again, they're in the final of the Champions League, the final of the FA Cup.
When the hell's the final of the FA Cup? We need to.
So it's if they do complete the treble, it is what it is. But are they the best Premier League team of all time? Probably not. Are they the best team of all time?
Yeah, 3rd of June.
Best English team of all time, maybe.
I'd say they're
it's hard. What are the parameters?
They're, in my opinion, the best team currently.
Yeah, they just won the Premier League
or the best team ever at winning games. I know they've had more wins before. I know Arsenal won Invincibles. You could say they're the best at not losing games, maybe.
I mean, it's so hard to say because,
but this team,
if you put Pep's Barcelona, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets midfield, against this Man City team, I think that Pep Barcelona team is better.
Yes, but although there is the question, and I saw Pep on his post-match interview against Chelsea where he's talking about how this season he's kind of rediscovered the defensive side of his game, and said that recently it's all been about fullbacks bombing on, scoring more than the opponent. Doesn't matter about how many you concede as long as you outscore them, kind of thing. But now, in this system where he's playing 4 centre-backs, he's saying that it all kind of boils down to winning your duels, and that stone cold killers at centre-back, and if you've got them playing at full-back, but they're still centre-back players, they're always going to win their duels in that defensive line. And that's why I was saying that this team are the best at winning games, because they've got players that are just going to win their duels. And then they've got Erling Haaland that's going to score 1 million goals. They're just built to win games. Yeah,
they're just functionally get a winning machine. Yeah, like you say, they've got Edison's played out of his skin. Especially the last half of the season, he's been outstanding. And then you've got players like Stones, Akanji, Ake, Diaz, even Laporte.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
They're 5 centre-backs.
They're doing it everywhere.
20, yeah.
You brought in young players like Rico Lewis, who's doing it everywhere. And they're playing this inverted right back into CDM or left back into CDM, depending on which side of the pitch they're on. And Pep has done something really amazing this season because he had that weird fiasco of trying to get... Erling Haaland was scoring goals, but Man City weren't playing. And they were winning just with the pure calibre of quality of player in their team.
Yeah.
But then halfway through the season, he's had to readjust his formation, readjust the tactics of his team, how they transition, how the flow of the game's going to go, where they position on the pitch in certain periods of the game. And he's sort of pioneered this 4 at the back into a 3 at the back with your right back or centre back pushing into a CDM role, playing this sort of narrow chokehold midfield with this like free flowing forward play. And it's kind of like he's kind of like mutilated his system before to make it work for this team, but it's so good that now we're seeing Arsenal trying to adopt it. We're seeing Liverpool trying to adopt it. I mean, that's how they've sort of got Trent playing a little bit. So Pep's managed to do that in the midst of a season where Arsenal were running away with the league, and now he's in the final of the Champions League, the final of the FA Cup, and he's just won the Prem.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And for me, there has been a lot of discussion about, has the Prem become the same as Liga, the same as the Bundesliga? I know
Farmers League.
I know Dortmund are maybe on the brink of the first title in 11 years, but Man City won 5 out of the last 6. I've only really been pushed by Liverpool. But for me, the dominance isn't Man City, the dominance is Pep Guardiola.
I agree. I think he is just an absolute genius, isn't he? And
he's the best of all time.
Yeah,
best of all time.
I think back in the day, and everyone's like, "Oh, Sir Alex is quality," but I think back then there was a lot less questions being asked of teams. There was only like 2 or 3 ways you could play. Now there's so many different styles of play. There's so many questions being asked of teams. So much analysis. Like everything is to the minute detail these days. That like if your league's better than everybody else, which Pep is, you're like a genius, because it's so hard to be that much better than everybody else when everybody in the world has like pretty similar amount of like data. Everybody can access the same data.
That's it. Everyone has the ability to access the same data pool. And you see teams who utilize their data properly, like Brentford, like Brighton, who are seeing success from it, and they've invested smartly in good managers. Like Brighton had Graham Potter, they had De Zerbi, they've done their research into these managers, proper analytical research. The amount of signings that Brighton have just got right, and they're reaping the rewards for it. So that wasn't as prevalent
exactly like in
years ago,
Sir Alex's day.
So you didn't have as much competition.
You could like commandeer and monopolize all like the best analysts, all the best
the best coaches,
the best
groundsmen.
Literally, you just monopolize those, and you become the best team. Whereas now everybody has access to data.
The level is just, and the standard is so much higher.
That Guardiola, in this kind of day and age where everybody can compete, for him still to be leagues above is just testament to how good he is, because the competition has the access to what he has, but they can't catch him because they don't have that big fat noggin. Yeah,
literally, what the competition don't have is Pep Guardiola. And for me, going back to the point, the Premier League, Man City are in an era of dominance, and I think it lasts as long as Pep Guardiola is there. But I don't see Pep Guardiola leaving and another manager coming in and instantly seeing the same success. I like, unless there's a manager that comes out of the woodworks, or unless someone like De Zerbi, or like, I don't know, from randomly like Postecoglou, something like that.
BoreDraw account that the way Pep Guardiola talks about De Zerbi,
it's like
gets me kind of like scared that he's like lining up De Zerbi as
like
his successor.
Sir Alex to David Moyes, but it might work.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of scary. But like we were talking about, is Pep going to leave? And
if the treble happens,
I fucking hope so, if I'm quite honest, because I'm sick to death of Man City winning it all the time.
I do miss,
but I'll miss Pep when he's gone, because he is quality.
Watching the Pep team week in, week out is just, he's box office as well, but in like a really respectable way.
Well, I was going to say, so it's like I miss Jose Mourinho, and he was like top tier cunt, pain in my arse. when he was in the Prem. But now that he's gone, you miss that kind of box office. You miss that kind of...
Now you're gone, I realise my love for you was strong.
And like when Pep goes, obviously the area of dominance will go, but you'll miss the style of play. You'll miss kind of his...
The innovation.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
The innovation. So you'll miss that. But someone needs to put Man City back in their place. Christ alive.
Then you have like the argument, like, right, the Premier League as an organisation, as a brand, wants to have the best football in the world. It wants to be the most entertaining. It wants to be a product, the best product.
That's probably why they are. What's the saying? Fucking, I don't know. But taking it slow to press these charges to Man City, because they're thinking, if we take 2-3 years to press charges, Pep will be out of the league, De Bruyne will be out of the league, Haaland might be at Real Madrid, so there's not as much money to be made from Man City.
It's just Jack Grealish going down.
There's not as much money to be made from Man City, but we'll milk them for all they're worth while they're all still here, and then we'll fine them or whatever, kick them out of the league, but we'll have milked them dry by then. So that's one to ponder.
Yeah, it is strange because we went through like a sort of era between the Man United...
Dragging their heels, that was the saying. Dragging their heels.
We went through this era like where we've seen Chelsea battle it out with like Man United, and then Man City come in, and then Liverpool come in, and then suddenly we've got like 5 out of the last 6 years Man City have won the league. We always like slate the Bundesliga or Ligue 1 for like this sort of thing, even Serie A to a certain extent when Juventus were dominant.
Although I didn't even clock, I looked at Serie A winners, so it's last 4 years it's Juve, then Inter, then AC, then Napoli.
Yeah.
That's nice if you're like into that league, seeing 4 different winners in 4 years.
And they've also had a team in the final of the Champions League. They've got a team in the final Champions League and a team in the final Europa.
And not conference.
No, not conference.
But they had a semi-final in the conference, didn't they? Yeah.
So
yeah, no, Serie A, we might have to delve into it because it's coming back.
And their league is like mad entertaining.
And Juve just got another 10-point deduction, which is funny. But yeah, Man City, are they monopolising the league?
I don't know. It's an interesting one. But like the question is, the healthiest thing in the league, or for the league, would be for someone to be able to utilise this summer to catch Man City. And maybe Man United might be doing that if they acquire one Haroldo Kane.
I thought you were going to say Neymar.
Man United, yeah. I've seen links, yeah, with Neymar and Vinny Jr. now.
Yeah, because
obviously Vinny Jr. had just this abhorrent racist abuse.
Disgusting. Spain, as a country, you need to take a long, hard look at yourself.
Yeah. I mean, was it Valladolid? Is that the team?
Nah, Valencia.
Was it Valencia?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
They beat...
because it was like a relegation.
Real Madrid 1-0. But
so right
the whole game,
yeah.
Vinny had just been peppered with racist abuse.
And I know Vinny watches this, so shout out, man.
Yeah, come on a pod. Come to England. So I've seen loads of people coming out and saying, like, come to England.
This has happened so many times. And apparently he's been booked like 16 or 20 times this season.
Vinny gets absolutely abused in Spain, but you can see when it goes to like the Champions League and he's not in Spain anymore,
it's cushy.
They love him. And I think he, in my opinion, is maybe him and Pedri. I think I tweeted this from the BoreDraw account. Are the two kind... Oh, no, I didn't. I might have. Fuck knows. But him and Pedri are like the 2 star assets of La Liga. And I can't see Pedri leaving like Barcelona's boyhood club and whatever. But Vinny, if he leaves, I don't think La Liga has any kind of star quality in pull.
Benzema's going to retire.
Exactly. Modric, Kroos are gone.
I mean, Messi might go back to Barca if he doesn't go to Saudi.
The fact that they're putting like Jude Bellingham is a bit annoying. But I think their kind of like star power as a league is deteriorating. And if Vinny leaves, that sets like a terrible precedent
for the future of La
Liga. Yeah.
But maybe it's a healthy precedent because that league 100%. Could do with a big reset.
Yeah.
From the beginning of the era of the Galacticos till now, they've dominated world football.
Yeah.
The Spanish national team has dominated. The Real Madrid dominated the Champions League just consistently.
Yeah.
Barcelona, when the years where Real Madrid fell off, they sort of dominated it. Then you had Atletico Madrid even winning it. So you've got like this crazy dominance on world football, and then suddenly, star assets leave. Ronaldo went to Juventus, didn't he?
Yeah.
Messi off to PSG. Neymar, even before that, went to PSG.
Yeah.
So you're seeing like the
downfall of La Liga, and I'm here for it because
bad investments though, spending heavily on players. Literally, like English teams couldn't keep hold of their players. Look at Arsenal losing Fabregas, losing Henry, Alex Song, Alexander Hleb.
We've lost Mandem to Barcelona.
But yeah, so maybe you must be sick if you enjoy this downfall.
What was the one I did ages ago? I was like, kind of like Darth Vader. But
yeah, it's mad. Vinny Jr. maybe to Manchester United. So
it is.
Before we go for a break, let's talk about Man United. It's a weird one for me because Wout Weghorst is terrible. Anthony Martial is terrible. Jadon Sancho, I don't know if he'll ever recover.
I don't know if this is a real quote, but I saw someone tweet on Twitter that that Wout Weghorst said that. So he was asked about the links to Neymar, and he said, I haven't read much about the links, but if Man United do sign Neymar, I think me and him would be a partnership United fans could get very excited about. And I was like, bro, do you know who you are?
And you're on loan.
I was like, you're talking about Neymar, probably one of the best players of the last generation, and you're Wout Weghorst, who's currently a Burnley player that's on loan at Man United.
The only thing he's ever done was score 2 goals in the final 12 minutes of
I was like, bro, check your privilege. You are not a duo with Neymar. I was like, what is going on here? What is going on here?
Well, Weghorst, man. Big
funny guy.
But yeah, the Man United team is very mid.
Ooh.
Like,
United fans won't like to hear that.
De Gea, great shot stopper, but you need someone to play out with their feet.
Crazy that they're going to offer him a new contract.
There are better options out there, and you get them on a way lower wage.
Yeah, 100%.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think, is all right. I think you can get away with Wan-Bissaka and Dalot combo for another year.
I think I underplay their defence. They've got one of the best defensive records in the league.
I think
I think you don't really need to touch that defence.
Varane is fine.
Yeah.
Martinez, really good signing.
Yeah.
I think Lindelof is all right back up.
Get rid of Harry Maggs, bless him. I think he is just a recipe for disaster, and his story
Phil Evans.
at Man United just needs to be
out the door as well. Get another centre back in, backup centre back, left back.
They're talking about Kim Jin-May.
Ooh, very tasty.
Very
good.
Yeah.
Very good. Very tasty.
So,
but yeah,
Luke
to look Shaw, I think good left back.
Top player.
Tariq Malacia, good. I think he's all right. I think he's right back up.
You said mid. He is the definition of mid.
I think he's right for backup though.
Yeah,
he's a co-backup.
Mid.
Then you've got Casemiro, Ericsson.
Good.
Maybe you got Fred as well, who can play that deep role.
I think just let Fred go and just.
I think Fred's all right though.
I think let Fred go, let McTominay go.
I think in games that are hectic, Fred is a valuable asset.
He is. I think he is an asset, but I think if you want to get away from this, just like mid United kind of. Like people talking about how Ollie's got more points in his season than Ten Hag and all this stuff. You need to start clearing out some of the players that are
been around for a while,
common at both.
But yeah, for me,
get rid of Maguire. Get rid of. I know we're talking about Lindelof, but I think just get rid of him as well. Get rid of De Gea. Get rid of
splash the cash. Yeah, get Vinny. Get Vinny over Neymar.
Yeah, I think 100%.
I think
I love Neymar, but any link to Neymar is now just.
I think Neymar's good, yeah, but he's going to be injured for like 6th season. He's going to be out.
I think he's going to be
in the back of his sister when it's like his birthday or whatever. Like every year.
I don't think he's had over 20 appearances in like 5 years.
Yeah, and
which is crazy.
It's like I don't know. I think you're investing it into the
brand
of the player, and you're not going to actually see as much return as you would if you bought someone like Vinny. Vinny could go on to be a generational player for United.
Mate, Vinny go on to get a Ballon d'Or, yeah.
Bro, you just get that team working. You get that working, Vinny and Rashford, yeah? I don't know how you play left or right, or Rashford up through the middle, or what. Yeah. And then even Bruno, really good player on his day. Really good player. Bit of a rat, but really good player. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they go Vinny and Rashford, like one of them has to go on one side, or the other you play Rashford up top, but then maybe you get a striker in.
I think
maybe you get Harry Kane.
They can't be spending that Vinny money because I think Vinny would set you back about 150 million.
I think they've got the P's though. They've got Champions League.
Yeah, but not if you want to sign one Mr. Harry Kane. That's 100 million right there.
Yeah, 250 million for United. It's not.
Well, I think they need a centre mid as well.
If you got outgoings, and you getting rid of Harry Maggs, you get like 30 mil for him maybe, and then you get rid of David De Gea.
Yeah,
that's like the wages are the big thing for me, really.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them do it when they signed Jadon Sancho after bloody spending, I don't know.
I mean, I forgot they got
Oh
Anthony
no,
as
so
well.
they signed Jadon Sancho, and then everyone was like, "That's a massive window," and then they dropped Varane and Cristiano Ronaldo on top of that. So they have previous of like going big and then going big again.
But will they spend whilst the Glazers are looking to sell?
Exactly that.
That's the question. It's very weird. Maybe Sir Jim Ratcliffe. That's the boy in it. He might come in, or the Qataris.
If it's the Qataris, we're in for a long kind of decade of.
Mate, it will get to a point where the Premier League is no longer the English Premier League.
Mate, it'll be a mess.
And the Championship will shine.
Yeah,
because the Championship, like the Premier League, it can't have someone win it 2 years in a row. Come back after the break, where we'll be giving you more beautiful insight, like you just heard.
So talking about Mr. Harry Kane, he scored an absolute banger on the weekend.
Free kick, wasn't it?
So Kulusevski kind of like rolls it back to him on the free kick, and he just scores an absolute pinger from about 35 yards into the top bin. Is that his parting goodbye to the Spurs fans, a farewell gesture, if you will?
Perhaps.
What's he doing this summer?
It's an interesting one. So there's few players you can say they gave more to a single club than Harry Kane.
Facts.
He,
not in terms of trophies, but in terms of himself.
He is, by all means, an elite player.
World class.
One of the best strikers ever. Mm-hmm. Maybe the most complete striker in world football.
One to ponder.
Maybe Benzema. I don't know.
Maybe Thierry.
No, I mean currently. Currently.
I'll allow that.
Maybe the most complete striker in world football.
Oh, right
currently.
now, yeah. 100%.
Probably one of the most complete strikers in world football ever. Like, there's few strikers who can do what he does in terms of creativity as well.
Yeah, right now he's the most complete striker in the world.
So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting summer for him.
At 29 years old,
no trophies to his name.
Does Harry Kane? He's a trophyless man. And can a trophyless man really go down as one of the greats? He's from Walthamstow. Shout out my guy Harry Kane. That's why he's a bloody gooner.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, he's broke Jimmy Greaves' record earlier this year.
Yep.
He's England's top goal scorer.
Yep.
He's basically got it all. He's on the hunt for Alan Shearer's record, which makes me think if he does leave Spurs, and I think it's going to be a very, very certain if. I think he's going to leave Spurs, but
very certain if. Come on.
I mean, because you can't say he will.
No.
But
then it's not a certain
if he leaves, a very, very as certain as an if can be.
As certain as an if can be. He's pondering.
He is going to leave Spurs.
I saw him come out after the Brentford game and said, so they were asking him about his future.
He just came out and he went, I've had enough.
He came out and was like, yeah, I'm done out here. No, he said, I'm not going to talk about my future, but if Spurs are to progress, a lot of changes need to be made. And that kind of made me think, like, he's done with it. Like, just, like, imagine every week you're bagging goals, you're putting in, like, an 8, 9 out of 10. And we said this on the pod.
Mate,
you're surrounded by donuts.
You've got 60 million Richarlison doing this, bro.
You're surrounded by donuts that can't do anything. And it's just, like, it must be like you're playing in, like, Sunday League and you're, like, you're, like, a Prem baller.
The captain of your club is Hugo Lloris.
Mess.
How?
Save my guy.
So yeah, I think he's going to go to United.
The other Prem clubs should have like one of those where they put Harry Kane's face on their t-shirt and be like, save Harry Kane.
Oh mate, poor guy.
Free Harry Kane.
I can't see him leaving the Prem.
No, he can't, mate.
He's got to go for that record.
Like, have you heard him speak English? Like, imagine him trying to speak a different language.
But Vinny leaves Real Madrid. Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham join Real Madrid. Benzema retires, goes to the MLS, goes to the Saudi League, makes P, drops some more rap.
Jeez.
Harry Kane could look good in a Real Madrid shirt.
He could.
He's trading the whites of Spurs to Los Blancos.
The most trophy-laden team probably in the world. So
He's going to go from one extreme to the complete
I was going
other.
to say, if you're ever looking for trophies, probably go to Real Madrid, ideally.
They're pretty much guaranteed one every season.
Yeah, so...
but yeah. So
but I haven't seen Real Madrid links. I think the only links I've really seen are Man United and Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I've heard maybe Chelsea. But I think it's very loose.
Yeah. Just like, get rid of Chelsea.
Yeah, but Chelsea going to be linked with everyone because they just know they're American
this summer,
owners.
yeah, Chelsea, like, as a fan, you'd be... If I was a fan, I'd be like... You couldn't look at any links because you just know all of them are just there for
They've
clicks.
been linked with like quite heavily with Vlahovic.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I keep saying people like, could you not pick a more obvious continuation
For
to the
curse.
number 9 curse?
Yeah.
It's mental. But yeah, it's strange. I think he stays in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I think he stays in the Premier League. I think United is the one.
I think Man United need to pull their finger out their arse. The match where Spurs played Man United and Man United fans were singing, "We'll see you
in the summer."
Yeah, we'll see you in the summer. Or
I think
we'll see you next season.
When Ten Hag brought in Wout Weghorst,
Gotta do it.
He wanted someone to be a platform to build off of. There is no one in world football who is a better platform than Harry Kane. I'm not saying he's a target man, but he is an enabler of the people around him.
Yeah,
in the best way.
Everybody around him so much better. And he just...
Can you imagine him be able to feed balls to like running runs of like Rashford, Vinny Jr. if they got him? I'm just saying.
Mate, you're set on this Vinny Jr.
I think that could be disgusting, but I mean, Anthony, if he gets away from the touchline, will be good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see an all-English trio of Rashford, Kane, Jadon Sancho.
Jadon Sancho is so washed, it hurts. But
who knows?
Yeah, I think
Man United is the one for him. Maybe
I'd hate to see it because I thought done were the days where Man United just steal the best striker in the league.
Mate, can you just like imagine they go from Wout Weghorst to Harry Kane?
I'm not seeing enough kind of propaganda from United fans to try and get Harry Kane.
I would honestly, if I was United fans, I would be bullying like Tottenham fans.
Yeah, mate. Just imagine.
But like, what does this mean for Tottenham?
Oh, mate, they'll be lucky if they get top half next season.
But the thing is though, like they lose a player whose probably innate value is about 200 million,
and some,
and they probably get what 120 million for him.
And if their recruitment's anything to go by,
it's going to go to
howler.
They're going to give like Harry Winks and Ben Davies like improved contracts,
mate,
and they'll probably give Hugo Lloris another 6 years.
They're fucking looking to give Eric Dyer a new contract, who I think is probably up there with the worst centre back in the Premier League. Harry Maggs,
could you imagine
centre box
in the deal for Harry Kane? They give Spurs Harry Maguire. Then you got a back line of Harry Maguire, Eric Dyer, and Romero.
Jesus Christ, that is an absolute recipe for disaster.
Oh, that would just be comedy.
Spurs would take that deal, I reckon.
I think they would, yeah. No, not like 20 million off the deal for Harry Kane.
Fuck.
Oh, that is quality.
But yeah, I think what it means for Spurs is not good things because they're already in a bad place. Daniel Levy his head is well and truly on the chopping block.
Spun.
But
how can his head be on the chopping block when he is the boss?
They had one of the best managers in world football. They've got the best stadium in world football. They've got the best striker in world football at the start of the season. And by the end of the season, they've lost the manager.
Had one of the best wingers in world football.
In Son, yeah, that's a shout. And by the summer, they've lost that manager. They pretty much killed him off, ruined his career. They're going to lose their star striker. And their stadium is only good for Beyonce tickets. So, name a fatter decline than that in one season. And I think when they lose Harry Kane, the kind of appeal to play for Spurs goes because you know you're playing with one of the best strikers in the world and he's going to carry you to points pretty much every week. So when you lose him...
What is the appeal?
There is no appeal.
There's no Champions League football.
That's another thing. So you had Champions League at the start of the season. So that's an appeal.
And
none of that. You haven't even got Europa League. I think... they get conference maybe?
They're looking at getting in Ernest Schlott from Feyenoord. Mm-hmm. He's a manager who I think players will want to play for, but he's nowhere near the pool of a Ten Hag, nowhere near the pool of even an Arteta, nowhere near the pool of a Klopp, nowhere near the pool of a Pochettino if he ends up at Chelsea. Nowhere near the pool of who I missed out. Pep Guardiola.
There's managers lower down the league.
De Zerbi,
Unai Emery, even
Thomas Frank,
Lopetegui. They've got more pull than Arne Slot. So for me, Spurs, and maybe this is what they need, a complete kind of
overhaul,
rebrand
like, when
of
was
the
last
culture.
time they actually bought someone like through the academy, and it was like
Good player. It's probably Harry Kane.
but they bought him from Leicester.
Yeah.
Like Dele Alli bought from MK Dons.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the likes of Luke Amos. He's just been released by QPR. Tom Carroll, where's he gone? He was like meant to be a really good player.
Well, Luke Amos got released.
Yeah, I liked him, but he's injury prone. Really injury prone. Japhet Tanganga, what happened to him?
Should we get Luke Amos on the pod?
I would love Luke Amos on the pod. I think he's a really great guy. He's done well for QPR, but he was just blighted by injuries. But yeah, I mean, like, just so many like weird signings as well. Who was that keeper they signed? Like the nutcase keeper.
Gazzaniga. Was it Gazzaniga?
Yeah, what happened to him?
Is he on loan in Serie A at the moment? But
they've got Tango in Dembele, yeah? What happened to him? He's on loan at where? Like in Marseille or somewhere?
Yeah, and he's their record signing, I think.
Yeah, like clearly a baller.
Napoli at the moment, yeah.
What's going on there? Like,
yes, Haaland.
Brian Hill, what happened to him?
Mess.
Like, it's constant.
Who's that fullback? Reguilon.
Reguilon. What's going on there? Emerson Royale.
Mess.
Emerson Royale sucks, mate. He's terrible.
Yeah, there's a mess going on.
There is no appeal to come and play for the Tottenham Hotspur.
And on top of that, just to pile it on, because fuck Spurs and all that, the teams lower down the league are only getting better. Brentford pushing for European football for the first time ever. Brighton got European football for the first time ever. Newcastle, Champions League football for the first time in like 20 years. The teams that Spurs didn't have to worry about 2 or 3 seasons ago, they're going to have to worry about now. And if Spurs don't make some decisions correctly and quickly, they could genuinely see themselves falling out of top 6 pretty quick.
Have Spurs fumbled a potential golden era?
Yes, 100%.
I don't think their golden era would ever be the heights of Man City's golden era or like Liverpool's recent.
Their golden era was that Pochettino era, and they should have made like 1 or 2 big signings after that.
Did he leave after they lost the Champions League final?
Like on the following season, yeah.
It's rough. It's bad
They should
decisions.
have pushed on after that Champions League final loss and made some elite signings and gone to that next level. Conte kind of, you can talk about fucking Nuno and Jose, but that was kind of a mess.
Mourinho on the day before a cup final.
Mess.
You have like one of the most serial winners, of all time, and then you decide to give it to Ryan Mason.
Mess.
Because your ego?
You've thrown away a golden generation, and now, and maybe Arne Slot is a guy you completely reset everything, start again from scratch, but can they afford to do that? They've got a stadium to pay off.
Someone has to have severe investment, and it has to be. Every single one has to be spot on.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of people like bantered about Arsene Wenger and kind of like all he was good for was getting Champions League. But when you've got a stadium to pay for and you can't make transfer signings above like 20 mil because you've got to spend the money repaying for the stadium. To keep up with getting Champions League, to keep up with these other teams like Chelsea in that era of spending
but don't forget
money out
Beyonce ain't appearing at the Emirates.
Huh?
Beyonce ain't appearing at the Emirates.
That's a fact.
Anthony Joshua ain't fine at the Emirates.
Kim Kardashian at the Emirates, but a funny analysis, like the moment she arrived at the Emirates, our kind of decline started.
Bro, I saw Saka on FaceTime to her and her kids, man.
Maybe all the boys...
And then suddenly the form went...
All the boys are loved up. But, yeah, shout out Kim Kardashian every time. But, yeah, I don't know. Spurs have got a lot of soul searching to do, I'd say.
If they even have a soul. Let's talk about the bottom of the table before we wrap up and give you our predictions. Mm-hmm. Everton, Yerry Mina doing the most, like the 98th minute equaliser.
I said this on the pod. Yerry Mina, all he's good for is red cards or slapping his big head on
big
things.
Noggin on that, mate.
And that's what he's here for.
Leicester City last night, getting a draw against Newcastle.
You watch the game?
I watched like the first half and he hit the post.
I've never seen a team play such a fat park the bus
Yeah,
tactic.
but I like that, innit? Like,
oh, mate, you got to do what you got to do.
Dean Smith and Craig Shakespeare and John Terry just went, right, boys.
And it worked. They got...
5 at the back.
Yeah.
And we're staying like that.
It was a squeaky bum time at certain times, like a couple cleared off the line.
Couple hit the post, crossbar, whatever.
But, yeah, a lot of people were saying that, like, they had opportunities towards the end of the game where, like, Leicester put a couple of forwards. That
Castagnier save from Pope was mental.
And a lot of people were saying that, like, oh, why didn't they kind of give it a go because they could have had chances. And my thoughts to that is, if they gave it a go, the way Newcastle were playing, they would have scored about 7.
If you lose, you're basically all but relegated.
Yeah. They couldn't give it a go from the start.
They've given themselves a chance on the final day.
Exactly.
If they win and Everton lose, Leicester will be in the league next season.
And Leicester are playing a West Ham team that are probably on the beach, don't want any injuries before their biggest game of the last decade. Whereas
Everton are at home though. Leicester and Everton both at home.
Both at home.
Leeds also at home.
All of them have got pretty much on the beach teams.
Yes. But this could be... So, Everton playing Bournemouth. Gary O'Neill's Bournemouth...
quality season. But
they lost 1-0 to United.
Yeah.
So, great season for Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Don't think anyone would expect... I see someone on... I can't remember what podcast it is,
podcast.
Oh, mate, it was so... Let me find this right now. You keep talking, but I'm going to come back to this because it...
So, I want to talk about the Leicester-Newcastle game. So, a lot of people are sort of like, oh, yeah, why didn't Leicester give it a go? Because they started 5 at the back, like you said, Wout Faes, Johnny Evans,
it's not even just
Harry
a podcast, it's Football Daily, yeah?
Oh, Football Daily. Mess.
This Donny, is saying that Bournemouth are the worst team in the league. And that Gary O'Neill shouldn't be in the shout for manager of the season. Even though he's got the worst team in the league into a mid-table position.
Yeah.
Just whatever you're doing right now, leave. Your opinions are invalid. Goodbye.
Man.
But yeah, so carry on.
Yeah, they were playing 5 at the back and benched arguably their 2 best players in Barnes and Maddison. And before the game, Dean Smith was asked why, and they were like, they know the kind of plan for this game, and they're happy because that is the plan.
And they won't get in before their transfer in the summer.
It worked because they frustrated Newcastle, got the 0-0. But the last 10 minutes, it was all Leicester because they were pushing for like a cheeky last-minute winner. But all I can think about when I was watching the first half was that if Leicester did give it a go from the beginning,
Newcastle would have torn them apart.
They were playing so good. And it was just because they had about 1 million defenders in the box that they couldn't get through. And Everson, as shit as he is, had quite a good game. But yeah, if Leicester gave it a go from the off, they would have been torn apart.
So coming down to the final game week of the season, we got Everton sitting outside the relegation zone.
Yep, 2 points clear currently.
2 points clear. They're on 33 points. Mm-hmm. With a goal difference of minus 24. You've got Leicester sat in 18th. 31 points minus 18 goal difference.
Goal difference will help them.
And Leeds United pretty much all but down.
It's sad for Leeds.
With a goal difference of minus 27 on the same points as Leicester. So Leeds, for them to stay up, they need Everton to lose, and they need to win by 3 goals.
I was going to say and Leicester lose, but they need both of them to lose and Leeds to win quite well. So I think
they don't need Leicester to lose because they would, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, Leicester.
Yeah, and then so it's Leeds for me all but down. It's tough because I can actually see Leeds getting a result against Spurs.
And the good, so can I. But the good thing about Everton and Leicester's games, Bournemouth and West Ham, that they're quite the similar level games. So it's who out of those two wants it more, and it'd be just a relegation battle juice.
I saw more fight in that Leicester game last night than I'd seen in their every game put together in the season.
Yeah,
honestly, it was. They actually showed they're like, oh, we kind of want to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah,
Everton
we know the
have been
gravity
fighting
of the situation.
every game I've seen under Dyche. Every game, apart from maybe 1 or 2 blowouts.
Yeah.
Where they clearly just been outclassed. They've been there pretty much in and around it. Forest, for me, and it's easy to say this now, they're safe, but they were the team with the most fight in that relegation battle.
Yeah,
every game they were fighting. I'm glad they've stayed up because I think they've got fantastic fans. They've got some really great players, and I think it was brave them to stick by Steve Cooper.
100%.
And I think it's paid dividends, so congratulations, Forest. But for me, I think Everton do it.
Yeah, let's just go for it. Who do you reckon?
I think Everton do it, and I think we'll be seeing Leeds and Leicester in the Championship next season.
I agree. I reckon Leicester, as good as that point was against Newcastle, they're not going to set up the same way against West Ham.
They need to win.
They need to win, and I don't think they will. And even if they do, I actually reckon Everton get a win against Bournemouth anyway, which invalidates anything Leicester can do.
We're about to do our predictions, but I predict that Everton will beat Bournemouth.
Yeah, same.
And I think West Ham probably...
Draw? I reckon it'll be a draw.
Yeah, something like that.
And
I don't know. I don't think Leicester have the quality to beat West Ham.
No. Yeah, it's
and
a
like
sticky
don't
one.
forget, like these players, in the West Ham team, some of them they'll probably play like some of the backup players, or whatever, because they don't want to risk injuries for the final.
They'll probably be
But
hungry.
they might be like, right, this is my time to prove it.
Facts.
And they've got talent. Come back after the break, where we hit you up with some predictions.
Let's go.
For the final time this
Luke, you need
season.
to pull the finger out of your ass, mate, because it's going to be a dub for us otherwise.
It's going to be rough. But yeah, come back in a minute.
Let's go.
Roz has just seen the video I'm referring to.
Yeah, he showed me. It's a howler from whoever you are.
Pato.
Pat or some...
Dougie Critchley, you're backing yourself up. And I'm agreeing
shout
with
out
you.
Dougie Critchley.
Because whoever that Donny is, he's got...
That's a howler.
How could you say, that Gary O'Neill has done nothing by getting Bournemouth into mid-table?
There's been some...
Bournemouth, bear in mind, lost 9-0 to Liverpool.
I know, fuck
and
you not.
They had Scott Parker in charge, blaming the players. Gary O'Neill, with literally zero coaching credentials. I think he left, retired. He went to Liverpool. I think he worked with, the Liverpool under-21s or whatever. Suddenly been thrown into the Bournemouth job, basically.
Got the job because he did so well.
Because he did so well, yeah. And he's got them literally mid-table. They were safe. They were literally relegated by Christmas.
Arsenal a run for their money. Only Arsenal came back and got a last-minute winner. They beat Spurs. They just lost 1-0 to United. They've done decent this season.
Mate,
big results.
Everyone had Bournemouth to go down.
Bournemouth
have made a mockery of everyone. You saw their TikToks, yeah?
Yeah.
They literally have called everyone out on their bullshit, and it's correct. So shut your mouth.
And how can you still be having that opinion now? I was going to compare it to the fact that Rory Jennings said that Haaland wouldn't get top goal scorer, and that's fair enough. Go out on a whim and say that because
he's come back and hold his hands up.
And you come back, but this is you have the evidence in front of you. Whereas Rory had, he had Bundesliga.
Are you just refusing to read the table?
That's what I'm saying. It's you have the info in front of you. Why would you not just take that in and make
it's just terrible. You're
a donut.
Shout out Dougie Critchley though.
Don't come on the pod if you're a donut. But predictions for the final time of the season. Starting off, I was going to say starting off, but they're all at the same time. But starting off with the boys, Arsenal hosting Wolves.
I think Arsenal will want something to shout about to end the season.
They will. Bukayo, my fucking guy, signed a new contract. That's what we love to see. And we've got to go out on because it'd be sad to lose this game and kind of the
season is tarnished.
The summer, you go into it thinking, that's been a bit of a rubbish season. When actually, it's been the best season Arsenal have had in about 10 years. So it's one of those where you don't want to go into the summer thinking...
It's not the best season you've had since you won the league.
Yeah, but
I guess you've had Champions League.
Yeah, we've had FA Cup wins.
Yeah,
so it's it's been one of the best seasons we've had in a hot minute. So to go out on a whimper would be sad. So I reckon we do.
Come out, show something what you're made of. Show that you're still that team that got City to pretty much to the end of this season.
And if we go out on a bang,
players want to come in.
Declan Rice will be like, yes, sir. Because the way I saw Declan Rice acting at his final game at the London Stadium, looked like my guy was on his way out. Arsenal 2-0.
3-1 Arsenal.
Bash.
Aston Villa versus Brighton. Two teams who have surprised a lot.
Good game.
Two teams who both lost their managers midway through the season. Sacking Steven Gerrard and Graham Potter being sniped by Chelsea.
Two managers are currently floating around the transfer void.
Unai Emery flying. He's done brilliantly. An underrated manager. And
do you know when you play Among Us and you get ejected and you're just floating around in space? That's what Potter and Steven Gerrard are currently doing. They've been ejected and they're just floating around in space waiting for someone.
But one of them's a good manager.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Someone needs to snap him up.
But yeah, for me, I think Brighton will want to douche on the end of the season. You know what I mean? They want to go out with a bang. These men are fire in them. And I think Aston Villa...
Aston Villa, good result against Liverpool on the weekend.
Aston Villa...
Good team.
Very good team. It's going to be a tight game, but I think Brighton's De Zerbi style of play will prove too much for Aston Villa. I think it may be one of the worst counters for Aston Villa. I think just the way Brighton play will pull Villa apart. Don't think Villa have it to deal with it. I'm going Brighton 2-0.
Brighton 2-0. I reckon it's going to be a tighter game than that. I think it's going to be a 1-1.
Brentford versus Man City. Well, Man City, home and away. They've already got the title. They're going to be resting up players for the Champions League. That being said, though, their B team is
so good.
Disgusting. So, Brentford obviously lost Ivan Toney. Good result, though, on the weekend. 3-1 against Spurs.
Beat Man
Whistle
City.
with 2 and Burma with 1?
And Bomo with 2, Whistle with 1. But Brentford got a result against Man City earlier in the season, so they won't be worried.
Late winner, weren't it?
Yeah, they won't be worried.
Prediction?
3-0 Man City.
3-0 Man City, I agree.
Nice. Chelsea Newcastle though.
Chelsea Newcastle, wow.
Chelsea, a team that have Champions League pedigree. No longer. Newcastle, welcome to the Champions League.
Chelsea, 0 European competition next season.
That's rough.
Is that rough though, or is that good for them? I mean, it's terrible for them.
I mean, it's terrible for Todd Bowley's like cash flow.
But
yeah,
we've seen teams be able to focus on the league, do very well in the league. So could be.
The moment Arsenal started focusing solely on the league is where the capitulation started.
Got all too much for you. You're overthinking it. Chelsea, Newcastle. I don't know. I'm gonna go like 2-2. 2-2.
Yeah, I reckon maybe Newcastle, now that they've secured Champions League, they must have had a piss up last night once they secured it. So I think they could be a bit tipsy on the day. I'm going to go for a 1-1.
Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest.
Beach Central over here.
Ep47 turning it up. I'm going to say 4-1 Palace.
4-1 Palace.
Goodbye, Wilfried Zaha.
Nottingham Forest are probably already pissed up as well after their last game against Arsenal.
I mean, they're all in the changing room doing TikToks with Jesse Lingard.
This could be like an official beach day because there's a lot of teams on the beach. There's not much jeopardy apart from literally the Leeds Leicester.
It's the relegation battle.
So there's a lot of teams that just probably don't give a fuck. And I think this is one of them. I'm just going to go for a 2-0 Crystal Palace.
Everton versus Bournemouth. Wow.
This is pretty much the only game that has,
for me,
any jeopardy.
This is the game that I'll be watching, I think.
Yes. That's probably why it's on Sky Sports.
And like, it'd be nice because I wouldn't mind seeing Everton, Leeds, or Leicester. 2 of those 3 all down the Championship, mate.
Love it. I'd rather it not be Leeds, but it's going to be
almost
Leeds.
Certainly Leeds.
So, it's, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see Everton get relegated.
So much, but I think they're going to be safe.
But after that Leicester fan that pissed me off on TalkSport, saying, we don't want to be back in the Championship, we've been there, done that. You do not deserve to be in the Premier League anymore. I'm sorry, I'm tarnishing all Leicester fans with the same brush here.
Luke's coming for you.
And I'm a Leicester fan. Went to uni in Leicester. Was there when they won the league.
He was.
I've always looked up for Leicester. Love it. Love that. I think they have a brilliant community team.
Like their owners.
The owners do a lot for the community.
Yep.
And the ungrateful man that went on TalkSport has soured my taste for Leicester.
Man.
So you're getting relegated.
I think you're a wet don if you're calling into TalkSport to have a chat. Mate, just get some friends. The TalkSport hosts are not your friends, mate.
They're literally there to take the piss out of you.
Yeah, literally.
Everton going to win 2-1.
Yeah,
I think Bournemouth will score first, and then Dyche will be like, no, guys, this is not how we're doing it.
Come on, he sounds like who's it, Soap from Call of Duty? Was it Soap? Is that who it was? Yeah, come on.
Oh, wait, Captain Price.
Yeah, Captain Price. Is that who's Soap? Is Soap
McTavish. He's the guy you play in.
But
shout out Soap.
Yeah, shout out Modern Warfare 2. Is that Modern Warfare 2?
Nah, let's
It's Modern Warfare 2, isn't it?
Yeah, well, maybe it is. What's the one where you start and you go on the cargo ship? Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 1, the first one?
Fuck knows, mate.
Long time ago that.
That's like a decade. But yeah, I reckon Everton do them 2-0.
Cool beans. Leeds versus Spurs. It's over for Leeds.
It is.
But I fancy them here. I'm going to go 1-0.
1-0. Bamford, I think he went off injured.
He went off injured.
No,
I think
like
Rodrigo had some sort of problem.
I think Spurs, on their farewell to Harry Kane, decide to pull their finger out and maybe like a last-ditch attempt to show him what he's missing out on if he leaves, which is absolutely nothing. Harry, get yourself out of there ASAP, mate. I'm going to go 2-0 Spurs.
Such a, like,
2-1
you know, like a toxic relationship where like you're about to leave, so they're just like, no, don't go.
Yeah, they like take you out for dinner one time, treat you, and then they fucking bully you for like years. Yeah, 2-1 Spurs.
Okay, Leicester versus West Ham. Another big game. Like you said, West Ham potentially resting some key players for that European final in Prague. But for me, Leicester, Like, it's time. It's time to go.
I think it might be.
I'm going to go for 1-1.
1-1. I'm going to give Leicester the win just for some jeopardy, but they're going to be on their phone in the stadium like, what the fuck's going on in the Everton game? And Everton are going to also be winning, and their hearts are going to break on TV.
It's going to be
There's
so good.
There's going to be kids crying, and I'm going to fucking
good.
love it. So yeah, Leicester 1-0.
Man United versus Fulham.
Genuinely couldn't care less. Man United 2-0.
I was going to say 2-1.
Actually, I'm going to say 2-1.
Okay.
Nitro, he's back and he's firing.
And rounding us off, Southampton versus Liverpool.
Liverpool 7.
I was gonna say 8-1.
Okay, 7-0.
Wait, you know how Southampton just dropped bare, like they're like the team as like another, what was it, 7 to
they
9?
lost 7 to Leicester and 7 to Man United, or 9 to Man United,
something like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, I'm gonna go 8-1 Liverpool.
I'm gonna go 7-0 Liverpool.
Wow, and that is the final predictions. I'm gonna need a big week there to catch up, but it's been rough. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed following along the season with us. We'll be back next week for our Premier League team of the season and a little season roundup, as well as a look back on our predictions for the table at the beginning of the season.
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about that. That's good.
So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. Don't worry, over the summer we're going to be pumping out the content. Got some big collaborations lined up. Episode 50 is just around the corner. Make sure you are subscribed and you're ready for that, because that is going to be the best video yet. Best video ever on YouTube.
It might be.
But yeah.
YouTube, can you put it on the homepage?
Guys,
how you do that.
Remember, hit that subscribe button. Just right here. It means a lot to us. We're trying to hit 200 before the season ends, which would be really, really, really great.
Got so much coming up this summer. So, yeah, even though the season's over, the content does not stop.
The content probably just gets going.
Gets going. And then get ready, because we've got the summer content, and then season 2 of
BoreDraw kicking off, and it's going to be a whole switch up.
Mate, you're not even going to recognise us.
It's going to be very, very different. But guys, we thank you and appreciate all the support you're giving us throughout the season. But it's not over yet. We've got one more big game week to go. Let us know who's getting relegated, who's going to win the Champions League, the Europa League.
Does Vinny need to come to Longley? That's
L'Angleterre.
Longley's
it's Tottenham centre back.
Clement Longley. No, isn't Longley
L'Anglaise. It's English.
Yeah. What's L'Angleterre? Is that
L'Angleterre is England, though.
in what?
In French.
Oui.
Cultured.
Come on.
Shout out. Thank you very much for watching.
Yes.
It's been BoreDraw, episode number 47. Yes. And it's live.
Let's go.